Do
on.
this.
All right, you guys, welcome back this week to our podcast. Can you believe how many episodes we're in? I don't even know what episode we're on, but I'm pretty proud of ourselves. We've at least hit past 10. Like that's where we're at, which
More
is
than one.
yes, more than one. More than one. We've actually I am legit proud of ourselves. Like we've had like almost every single episode over 20 listens, and I think that's pretty dope for being a baby podcast. Like I really do. Anyway, okay. This is something, like I said, if you guys were here before, this is just kind of like on a whim of what we go on. Like seriously, we kind of decide what we're going to talk about right before we talk about it. You're gonna hear my dog. And we decided tonight, because Delancey got a question from somebody on TikTok, but we also kind of dove into this with Greg, but we didn't get hardcore into it. But we're going to talk about what it's like being an adoptee, finding your bio family, and in turn having siblings, which are still with, for me, like our situations are totally different. I mean, if you heard my story, you know how mine is, but like, yeah. And I did ask Delancey, so I'm going to ask Delancey this because I told her to keep it to herself because we like doing things kind of like raw, but are you the oldest out of all of like your half sisters?
Out of my biological family, yes, I'm the oldest.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so she is, yeah. But you guys have different. Do they all have the same dad? Okay. Why are you?
No.
Girl, it don't matter. Don't shake. It's fine.
Because like I hesitated to answer that for the simple fact of like, do they have the same dad? Because I mean, we know how people are. People suck.
Well, then people can suck it. People can suck it. It's fine. It's fine. No, don't even.
You know, still, I try to. I don't know. I try. Yeah, but yeah, no, we. But you would think though that my younger sister Chelsea and I were like the same person.
Okay. Isn't that crazy? That's so crazy. Yeah. That's so crazy.
It's nuts. We're very similar.
That's so cool. Because with me, I've got older siblings and younger siblings. I'm smack dab in the middle. There's 3 older ones and 3 younger ones. I'm smack dab in the middle, and they're the only one that they play. I'm the only one they place for adoption. So my story gets kind of crazy that way because people, like you're saying, when they're asshats, they're kind of like, well, why just you? Why did she keep the other 3? Why, like the things I could tell you that they've said, why didn't she keep her legs shut? Why do you not know who your dad is? Why do you have different dads? Like, I don't know, not my life, not my judgment. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I mean, and nobody knows what was happening at that moment in that time in her life. Like that's the part that drives me crazy. It's so easy for people to sit there and judgment for something that happened 30 plus years ago.
Exactly.
Like, you weren't there. Exactly. We weren't there. We were there, but not really. Like, yeah. Like, come on. Like, you can't really, I don't know. I find stuff like that to be a little on the frustrating side. But
no, I totally agree. So let me ask you this. How did you feel when you found your bio mom and then you found out you had other siblings?
I knew I had other siblings before. Like I mean, like I found her, and before I talked to her, I knew that because of the Facebook stalking my entire family, and I did. like
any normal person. Yeah.
Like any normal person would do, you Facebook stalk people and you just call it a day. But I thought it was, I don't know. I was, God, they're going to freak out when I say this. I was most excited that I had a brother.
Aww.
I'd always wanted a brother. Always wanted a brother. That was like something that I like begged for when I was little. Like I wanted a brother. I always wanted an older brother. Like what little girl doesn't want an older brother to like take care of them? Like that's just like a thing. But at the same time, a little brother would have been fine. I didn't really care. I just wanted a brother. And then it was kind of like I had to accept that I wasn't going to have that. And then I found her and I had it. And even though he's younger than me, he is like, he towers.
That's so funny.
Over me. Like he towers over me. Like he's over 6. I don't even know how he's over 6 foot. And I'm like 5 foot nothing.
No, that's awesome. Did you, so this is, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. No, I was gonna say, it was just amazing to know that something I always wanted, I was finally going to get.
Right. That's so cool. Did you? Oh no, I lost. What was I gonna say?
You
I
know, I do that to people because I keep.
no, it's totally fine. I was I was gonna ask something and I totally spaced it. So she is your I don't want to get in too much into like your bio mom story because it's her story, but she's still married.
No,
Okay. Okay.
no. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of, I mean, like, it's not, I mean, it is part of her story, but like, not really. Like, she married my bio dad
Okay.
a year after I was born, married, and then he passed away in '86. So a year after they got married, a year after I was born and placed for adoption. Then he died a year after that. And then I don't know exactly when she married her second husband. I don't want to throw his name out there, just because, privacy. But she married him, and then just some things happened, and
Yeah.
it just didn't work. You know what I mean? Like, it just didn't
Yeah.
work out for
No,
whatever
yeah.
reason.
Yeah. No, I get that. Um,
Yeah.
what's the other question I was gonna ask you? Dang it, I have them and then I space them. There was was it? What was it? It was something about
Well, I was going to ask you, like, how did you feel when you found out that you weren't the oldest, that you had older siblings? Like, that's a lot to process. To
okay,
go
so
from being the oldest, you
it's true. Okay, if you guys follow me on social media and you know me at all, I mean, you're gonna see bits and pieces of my story, but for sure, if you know my full story, I was, adopted as an infant. And then when I did find my bio family, I am the only one of 7 children that was placed for adoption. And ironically, I'm smack dab in the middle. And so many people are like, well, how did you not know? Like, what, like, you can't hide a pregnancy. Okay, yeah, no, no, duh, dipshit.
you'd be surprised.
But like,
About to
so
say all things possible.
it's true. It's true. It's very true. But like, my oldest sibling, he lived with family members. And then the other two, let's be real, when you're like two, which I think is the 2 and 4, like you're gonna kind of forget that. You know what I mean? Like you can't go back and be like, oh, I can remember every single detail when I'm 4 years old. And so, but yeah, so she placed me. I was the only one that was placed for adoption. And when I did find out, it was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard because you play the what if and the why me game. Why was I the only one placed for adoption? Because like what's wrong with me, why only me, and I'm the only one that was a C-section. The rest of hers were not. Yeah, they were all vaginal. I'm saying that TMI, if you're on here, it's totally fine. But like, and so that's crazy too. I was her only C-section child. And so I mean, for me, it just like you've got to remember people are at different stages of life where they can handle this kind of information. If I was 19 and found this, I don't think I'd be able to handle it the way I handled it. Granted, I was so postpartum with the baby too. That's why a lot of those feelings still flooded, but those feelings are valid. And I want adoptees to know that when you find these things out, they're valid to be confused and frustrated and like, why me? But like me and Delancey always say, don't sit in it. Try and figure it out. I have most recently just gone to therapy. I mean, it's been years, but like just the past 6 months gone to therapy and that kind of stuff to kind of get crap figured out, that and other stuff. But it's just like, you have to look at the bigger picture. And that's what makes me sad, which I think last week we talked about like how people just get so angry and they harbor those feelings. Like you don't want to harbor those feelings because when it comes to it, the only person that hurts is you. And I know it's easier said than done when you're in a negative, nasty place. It's easier to be like, just, do the best you can. But yeah, no, it rocked my world. And we're pretty sure we have different dads because all of my biological brothers, except for one, they all have green eyes, which is so crazy for like, with how I feel like I'm so like features, dark hair, freaking dark eyebrows, super, super brown eyes. And I meet them and they all have like these light, beautiful green eyes. And I'm just like, where did we come from?
So you think you're pretty sure then that your bio dad is completely different than I thought you were in the same. Okay.
No,
then
we've kind of paired up to where maybe we think like one of us and one of us might have the same, or like three of us might have the same from features that we have. And then the others kind of bounced around. And again, that goes back to, like you were saying, kind of like with your bio mom, where you're like, I don't really want to say, because that's really when people get really judgmental and really disgusting. Like,
People
well,
always have
why
something to
couldn't she, like, I've had comments like that. Why couldn't she keep her legs shut? Like, why was she sleeping around so much? Why is she such like a little
say.
slut? And it's like, who am I to judge her?
Anger issues
Like,
can. So glad I've done like the work on myself, because my anger issues would just like pop right back. Like I'm so glad that I waited until I did some self-development to
Right.
like keep my mouth in check, because no,
yeah,
it's just rude.
it is.
It's just like, I don't understand keyboard warriors. I don't understand internet trolls. I've never understood that in my entire life. I never will understand that.
No.
Why people feel the need to say the things that you're saying
Yeah.
about somebody that they do know,
I know.
based on
It's really
piece
sad.
of information.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. And to me, it just goes back to like, one, they have nothing better to do and they like to project on other people to hurt them because they're hurting so bad, which is just disgusting. It's like, dude, you need to figure out a better life than like being on social media all the time and attacking people. But no, yeah, like
that. I mean, we talk about that all the time. Hurt people hurt people.
True.
That's just what that is.
That's what like our episode was last week. If you listen to that, this will roll out a little bit. Like, what?
Jemiah just made a good point. People always have something to say. It's all fun and games until it's their own issue.
Yeah.
Hurt breeds hurt.
Yes. Amen. Whoever said that.
Completely correct. Jemiah is 100% correct.
It's so true. Like, I just don't understand that. And it's like, why am I don't know, like, why am I to judge her? Like, yeah, I'm okay to have the feelings of why me and why did this happen and this and this and this. But then when I come to it, it's like, look how much God blessed me with. Like, I have, an amazing husband and beautiful children, and like the support system that I'm around because my husband travels so much, and I have a home, and you know what I mean? Yes, I'm ghetto and doing it in my closet, but I don't really care. Like, but you know what I mean? Like, there's so much to look at, to be grateful for,
It's that's the whole entire thing, is what I found, is that people that they just want to, when they want to say negative things, they want to be hurtful, and they want to like make those comments about just anything really that are so derogatory and so rude. It's like, you literally just cannot be happy, can you? It's like, come on, bro, like, be happy, just be happy. You have a reason to be happy. And if you're choosing to not see the joy, choosing to be, insert negative word here,
right?
Then, me, my brain like short circuits with stuff like that, because I can't comprehend things like that.
And she
doesn't I can't being rude to people.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Like, it's exactly what who was it that said that? She's 100% right. She, who has said that on there? He said it. Yeah.
I honestly left it as at his screen name. Sorry that I kind of outed you, buddy. My bad. But JamWow.
Yeah.
I've known JamWow for a little bit. So like,
awesome.
I knew him. We started working together, I think back in 2018. 19.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, he's always agreed with that same thought process that you and I both have, of like, people just, if they're hurting, they love to lash out and hurt other people, because, and then what he said, is all fun and games until it's their issue. That is such an accurate statement.
Yeah.
Like, such an accurate statement.
Yeah, no, it's so true. I'm trying, because it's like different for you because your siblings are younger, but
yeah, but you have to remember though, there was that initial, what does she want?
Yeah.
Why is she here? And it's like,
and if you guys don't know, but you probably heard on the podcast with Greg that like, we were both kept a secret. We were both not, and even Greg was like, we were not known to our families. So when we all went looking for our birth moms, it was like, a surprise, you do have a sibling.
there's another one. Yeah,
Which,
mine even said I need to tell them first.
yeah.
Like,
Well, see, and mine didn't have any like power over that, I guess you could say, because one, I was trying to reach out to who I could reach out to with. Two, I've got a language barrier. And three, they all have their
yeah,
guards up like your one sibling, of like, wait, what do you want? Like, what do you want?
yeah,
Especially me, some chick in America reaching out to people in Colombia. They're like, okay, no.
yeah, exactly. Like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sure yours were like, excuse me. For those of you that are not watching us live and are, listening to our podcast, I just did a little hand movement. That was amazing. So go check out our YouTube video.
no, I love it. But have you ever had, because I know there's some people, and it really depends on the adoptee that you talk to. They do like kind of like what I was saying, like they play the huge what if game. Like, well, if I was still there, then I would have these younger siblings. Granted, you have your sisters that you grew up with, but like, what are your thoughts on that? And I want real raw thoughts on that because I know you'll
You
give.
want like
Yeah,
real raw thoughts, like honest truth of what if my bio mom had kept me.
yeah, I do.
Yeah, I would have had one younger sibling and she probably would have stopped.
Yeah,
And I'm not kidding. Like I'm being dead serious. Like
yeah,
Chelsea and I, sorry, Chelsea, I just outed you. Uh, Chelsea and I we are the same person. Um, in the fact that we are both very strong-willed.
yeah,
We are very stubborn. We are very much like, you're not going to force me to do anything. I
yeah,
will do it in my time.
yeah,
And I'm pretty sure, like, even my mom said that. My mom was told me, she was like, there's no way that your bio mom would have had more children after you and Chelsea, because you and Chelsea would have been throwing down in the living room, fist fighting.
yeah,
And she would have been like, I'm done. I don't want
yeah,
any more kids. And I was like, you know what? You're probably very accurate about that, because I I think it would have been a very different dynamic. I don't, but at the same time though, I don't even know that I hate the what if game, because I kind of played it so much before I found them, that after I found them or found her, and then I found out that he had passed, then I started playing the what if game of, if she had kept me and after he had passed away, then his parents would have, uh, I mean, there's just no other way to say it. Like, sorry if this offends anybody, but his parents would have forced her to stay there
yeah,
and to me to be raised in their very much Catholic, very much Mexican culture,
yeah.
which is fine. I'm
Right,
not against that at all.
right.
It is what it is. It would have been completely fine. I would have, enjoyed that. However, after getting to know them and seeing, I would have been a very different person
Yeah,
than what I am today. And I do not think I would have liked that person, to be
yeah,
honest. I do not think I would have liked that, because the way that I was raised was, be thankful that you're here.
yeah,
You were life was chosen for you. You were given life. You were placed with us. Take advantage of every opportunity that we were offering to you, even though I
yeah,
try to fight that too, because I'm stubborn, whatever. I love to be difficult. But it's very much like hard work ethic. If there's a problem, it starts with you. You need to fix your actions first. You need to work hard. You need to like be kind to everyone. You see someone sitting by themselves in school, you go sit with them. You
yeah,
stand up for the weaker person. Somebody's getting bullied, you stand up for them. If I had been raised with them, I don't think, even further, I don't think there would have been any other. I wouldn't have had my three younger siblings. We would have been with them. She would have never been involved with another man based on what they wanted, from what I can
right,
gather and what I
right.
understand.
Yeah,
And I would have been, for lack of a better term, I would have been an entitled brat.
yeah,
And I would not have, I am so thankful that that's not me. Now, that's not a knock on them at all.
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, but I know that if I had stayed, that would have happened. Like if she would have changed her mind last minute, that would have happened, because the other things would have still happened. Like, he would have still been in the military. He would have still had a mass discovered, he would have still had exploratory surgery. They would have still nicked an artery. He still would have died.
Right.
All of that have still happened. Nothing would have changed with that.
Right.
The aftermath would have changed, and she would have, it just would not have been healthy.
Yeah. No, I love that. Because
I've got the real and the raw, and I'm sure they're going to be
no. I love that because sometimes it is frustrating when y'all, if all you guys just heard that, you're welcome. That was my child. No, I was gonna go into mine because sometimes I do.
Yes, please go.
Like I get frustrated with the part that people just assume that immediately I should be grateful because I was adopted. Sometimes that does bother me because it's like, you can't just assume that my life is all rainbows and butterflies and that I should just be grateful for everything. Granted, am I? Yes. Yes, I am very grateful for where I'm at. And I'm a lot like you. I believe to my core, if I was not raised by a mom and a dad, just by my bio mom, my life would look a lot different. Kind of seeing like what my siblings are. I don't know that I would have a huge, like, and granted, my, faith in God has only really come the last 4 years, like a huge,
right.
What do you call it? I don't know. In
Epiphany.
him, belief in him, a huge belief. I couldn't think of that word. Like,
you have a relationship with him. Like, it's not just like same. We've talked about this before. Like, we know he's up there, but over the last couple of years, we've really developed a relationship with him.
Right. So I think I would know he was there, but I wouldn't be doing the work that I'm doing now to get to know him. And like you said, build that relationship. Second,
right.
Which this is very foreign, but in like our religion, we're asked not to like drink or smoke or anything like that. And I know some it's not like that. So this can be weird. I've never had a lick of alcohol in my entire life. Never. And so Delancey didn't know that about me. Never. Have I drank coffee? Oh, hell yeah. But have I ever had alcohol? No. It doesn't entice me.
Question. I have questions.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to drink coffee.
Yeah. Which I could go off on that, but that's for another day.
Like,
yeah.
It's coffee.
I know. Believe me, I know, friend. Believe me, I know. No, believe me, I know. But like, so I think if I was still there, because and I think it's really scared me away from alcohol too, because I had a grandfather that was alcoholic and like just, crazy and all those things. But my one little bio brother, who's just below me, was a very, very, very bad alcoholic to where they thought he was going to lose his life multiple times. And so I think I wouldn't be like necessarily an alcoholic, but I think I would have like loved it and partied and had a good time. And not that like multiple partners is a bad thing, but like I would have gotten around. I guarantee you, I would have had a couple kids out of wedlock. I guarantee you, because that's just how it is. Like I guarantee you, I would have. One thing I do know. What?
It would have been just different, like a completely different person.
Yeah. One thing, they do work really hard for everything that they have. Like, and so that's one thing that I know I would still have instilled in me. I think it's just in me to be that way, to work very, very hard for things that I want or to chase or anything like that. But it would be a very different dynamic. I mean, I don't know. And so that's where like, I am very grateful. And that's probably the stubbornness in me. I don't like people telling me how I should feel about being adopted. And I think that's my biggest frustration is it's like, yeah, I'm grateful, but you don't get to tell me I'm grateful. That's something I've learned and blossomed from. That's just like me telling you that you need to not get like your freaking, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like something else, you know what I mean?
Have you ever had somebody tell you, oh my God, well, because you have younger siblings that were your younger siblings, they're their biological children, right? Or were they adopted as well?
In my family right now?
Your mom and dad.
Oh, no, they're all older. There's 4 older and they're all biologically there. So I'm the baby.
So you're the baby too.
Yeah.
Why did I think you were the oldest?
Nope. I'm the baby.
Okay, so you're the baby too. They had biological children. Then they adopted you. They
Yes.
kind of same but different with me. With
Right.
they have 2 biological children, they adopted a third one, and then 10 years later decided to adopt me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a whole other thing. Have you ever had someone tell you, "Oh my God, that is so," I'm going to quote, "that is so amazing that they chose
Yes.
to go ahead and adopt you after they had their own children?"
Yes. That is frustrating. I don't like
And
that.
I say it in that voice because, sometimes it gets said in a way that people just don't know any better. And like they don't mean anything by it.
Right.
But in that voice is when you just want to look at them and go, okay, listen, Deborah,
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to bring it in. But
Right?
it's one of those moments where in my 20s, I would have popped back, probably not in the best, probably kind of snarky. I won't even lie. I wasn't exactly the nicest person whenever people said stuff like that. But it is those moments where like we almost, like you and I both, I feel like we have to go,
It's true.
understand what you're asking. Let me explain to you
Yeah.
X, and Z how to ask that, because it's almost like I get what they're saying.
Right.
It's the way they're saying it,
Exactly.
that it's like you have to feel
Right.
thankful. Like you
Yeah.
don't, and I like, just like you, I'm 100% thankful. I'm 100% blessed to be adopted. I love being adopted. But don't like metaphorically point a finger at me and tell me I have to feel something.
Yes. And that's one of my biggest frustrations. Yeah. Don't tell me how like I said, I am very grateful. I am extremely grateful that I was adopted and, everything that I have as far as those blessings go, but nobody wants to be told what to do. Nobody even like,
Mm-mm.
nobody wants to be told what to do, period. Nobody wants to be like, well, you should do it this way and you should do it that way. And it's like, you should feel this way. Why should I feel this way? Like,
Let me ask you something. When you were younger, when did you decide that you wanted to look for your bio mom?
mine wasn't until I turned 30.
Okay, so like before that, you were like me, kind of
I just,
like
I didn't have the interest in it. And I am going to say this. There was kind of, oh, okay, mom, I'm going to say this, mom. There was kind of a little bit of fear put into me that if I were to search for, like, there was a lot of kind of, which I get now, it's her projecting her fears. A lot
Mhm.
of Columbia is a drug company, the drug capital of the world. Like, and like, I remember very vividly having a dream about my birth mom. Obviously, it was it was the face of the picture that I grew up with because my parents kept a picture for me. But I remember very vividly her coming and trying to like take me in the night. And I woke up because it was like a dream. But I remember telling my mom that, and she was so upset, like just so upset. Like I would never let her take you, like this and this and this. So I think that what I'm getting back to is like, it really, really scared me to
Mhm.
want to find her, because
Right.
it comes with those feelings of what we've talked about so much is like when you're adopting, granted it's changed now because there's so much open adoption, but when your adoptee wants to look for their freaking, support them. It's just like what you said. And when I re-listened to one of them, you support them in all these other crazy endeavors. Why not support them in finding where they come from?
You
Like,
supported them with the lemonade stand when nobody was buying lemonade. Support them in this. It's
yeah,
not that hard. It's just
yeah,
not hard. It's not
yeah.
that hard to support your kid and not make it about
No,
you.
it's not. Yeah, no,
It's
I
not.
totally agree. Like yeah. And so for me, yeah, it was when I was 30, because I was half terrified and half I'm very grateful, kind of like we discussed with Greg, is like maturity level. I don't think I would have been near as prepared because there was a lot. Like
Mm-mm.
it's a lot to process. You know that. It's a ton to process when you open
Yeah.
up something like that, because you're opening up everything, your heart, your mind, your, all the kinds of things to be open, to be hurt. And I think that's what scares a lot of adoptees to look for their families, like really, because nobody wants to be hurt. Nobody wants to feel icky, crappy emotions,
Well, nobody wants to hurt anybody else. Somebody, it's just like that video that I posted on my TikTok not too long ago about how somebody was like, this is why people fear adoption.
Yes.
No, that's why adoptees fear looking for their biological families, because of comments like that get projected on them, making them feel like they're wrong. for
Yes.
wanting to do
Amen.
that.
Yes, exactly.
Like, that's the reason I wanted to ask you that, is because to see how old you are. Because I wanted to say that you and I both agreed that we just had no interest, and that we had other things that were going on and other factors that affected it. Because did you ever have someone tell you, um, either, how can don't you want to look for your real mom?
Yes. Oh yeah. After I
Or
met my after I met
found
him,
your
after I met him, those were the words out of their mouth.
really
Well, you found your real mom now. No, 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 no,
your
no. My real mom is the one that raised me, that nourished me and loved me and
that
took care of me. Like, and you know,
thank you.
yeah.
But and we talked about earlier, biology does not make you a family. It doesn't make you a parent. It doesn't any of that. Like that, it kind of drives me nuts. Like I even had I was talking to a coworker today, and she was explaining something. And I don't even really remember the full context behind the conversation, but she said something about oh, it was a mom and a stepdad, and then the biological dad. And she said, yeah, when the child goes, so, and I totally appreciate that she did this, but when the child goes to the real dad, she goes, I'm sorry, goes to the biological dad's house instead of staying at home with stepdad and mom. And I was like, good for you. Like she immediately corrected herself, and she's like, I'm sorry. She's like, I know that she was like, I didn't realize how offensive that was.
Right.
And it's kind of like some people don't care, but
Right.
it just goes back to the whole just never know.
Yeah.
And saying real, oh, sorry, pocket, real mom, real dad, it takes away from the people who raised you.
Right.
Like,
And we both know that a lot of it is clearly just people don't know. So they don't know how to word it. And so
yeah,
luckily both of us have come to a point where we're like, that's great, but my real mom's actually my mom that's here, you know. So she's actually my birth mom. So just because I like, you know, please call her that. Like it's not a bad thing.
please.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's like my Father's Day post, a guy that I've known since I was 15.
yeah.
Let that sink in how long I've known him. he commented, because I always pay respect to my bio dad and to my dad, and I do the same thing on Mother's Day, bio mom and mom. But you know, my bio dad passed away, of course, and so pictures from like age 20, and he said, wow, your dad looks like a young AC Slater. He's not wrong.
I can see that.
He's not wrong. He does look like a young AC Slater. He really does. However, that's not my dad.
Yeah.
That's my biological dad.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the whole entire of, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I'm just gonna throw this out there. I feel like I'm like jumping around on topics and just
It's
as usual, per usual.
It's fine.
Par for the course. It makes me even more glad to talk through just par for the course. The more we talk through everything tonight, and like, I mean, you know, people that have joined our lives, have stuck around or have jumped out, jumped back in, whatever, they can see how much we go around. But it makes me even more glad because we have that space to where we can say, we understand what you're asking. This is the way you should ask it, or we understand what you're saying. This is the way you should say this, just simply for the fact of some people may not care, but some people may care. Right. And we do it in a nice way, a respectful way, a way to educate, instead of like some of these other things that we've come across on social media where people are just mean
and angry.
Like, and angry. And I guess, I don't know. I guess I still don't understand the whole entire thing about being angry, or like other adoptees trying to tell us how we should feel just because they're mad. They want us to be mad with them. Yeah. And it's like, I'm sorry. Have you not seen our content?
That's a whole nother day. No. And I've had quite a few adoptees unfollow me because I don't see eye to eye with their negativity. Yeah. Which I'm okay with that, because then they don't need to be here. That's fine. Like, I honor that there's hardship, but at the same time, I am not going to be like, I'm in an adoption fog. No, I'm sorry. Screw that shit. Dude. I'm not going to be like, I'm not. I'm sorry, but I'm not. Anyway, go back and listen to that episode.
I still believe
what
that term is so stupid. That's oh, my life ended, so I have to go back and go live again. So we gotta go live again.
Oh, it ended.
That term legitimately.
hi friends
stupid
that are on my
term I've
live,
ever
if you're
heard.
here. Like, yeah.
Okay, seriously, my TikTok live literally just ended itself.
Oh, lame.
Okay, now we're back again.
Okay, here's a question I want to ask you too.
I don't know.
What do you call your bio mom?
Her name.
Me too. Okay.
I'm being
no,
I'm being serious. I call her by her name, or I mean, if I'm talking about her to somebody, I call her my bio mom. Like,
yeah.
she's my bio mom. Like, that's
Yeah.
just what I call her. But I legitimately call her by her name. So like my younger sister and her husband will say like, he will say her husband will say like y'all's mom, or she'll say our mom, and I just roll with it because I know that's easier for them
Agreed.
when they're talking about it. But as far as anybody else goes, I bio mom and her name. I had to think for a second. I was like, my brain just short.
But I get that with like the half siblings.
No,
I call her by her name too, but I totally get that with the half siblings, what you're talking about, because like technically it is like, you know, they're like, oh, you're our sister, you know, she's our mom, you know, and so whenever I'm just like, yeah, of course, like acknowledge it that way. I do think it's funny, and I'm not coming to anybody, but when people are talking about their parents versus their bio parents, and they have to put, oh, my adoptive parents versus my bio parents, it's like, why are we saying adoptive parents? Why aren't we just calling them parents? Like,
a lot of work. That's a lot of words, and that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'm lazy. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. Like, adopted. Those are like, and I don't mean to make that face and be like snarky or anything. Like, that was actually kind of rude of me. Shame on me. But like, I don't see the reason why I need to differentiate my parents.
Yeah.
That I've spent my whole life with.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I don't get that. But I mean, no, I guess some people need to do it. Just, that's a lot of words though. Like, that's extra unnecessary words, I feel like. Like, I don't even say the full biological. I say bio because biological is just too long.
Yeah. And I get like, granted, it depends on the adoptee that you talk to. Like, because I've known adoptees who have found their bio parents who they've gone and lived with them just to see how it's like. I've had I've had adoptees who I've spoken to who have been not in the most ideal situations, unfortunately, when it comes to being with their parents who did adopt them. And I get them fantasizing about staying with their bio parents, but it's all different, you know, and it's depending on the adoptee you talk to too. Like, there's one that like when
that's true.
She saw my stories and I was talking about how, you know, when you see people are hurting or angry per se is what people like to label them as, they're just really hurting. And so they like to project and take it out and lash their anger. And that's the way they work through it. And she was very much like, no, like, you're nicer than me to give them that grace to pray for them, because I just think it's ignorant and like dumb. And I'm like, I get you, because it is frustrating for me because I don't want to live in a place of negativity, but at the same time, I understand what they're trying to work through. Just don't come at me. If you come at me, then I'll come right back at you, because I did, you know what I mean? I don't go on these people's pages and be like, you are so angry, you need to calm it down for the community. No, it just makes me use my voice louder to be like, there are people hurting, but I want you guys to see that there really is good outcomes with adoption. Unfortunately, it's not the case with every adoption, but it's not the case in a real freaking family too. I'm sorry. If you're born into a family, it's not all hunky dory and rainbows and shit. And you know what I mean? Like, okay, I gotta stop because I'm getting heated. But you know what I mean?
Like, that's like with anything though. With any type of scenario, there is the possibility that something's not going to work out. Something is just not going to go your way.
Right.
And you know what? Sometimes the answer is no.
Right.
Sometimes the answer is no. I love when people say God answers all prayers. Yeah. Sometimes he says no. Sometimes he says no, and that's okay. Like, you just have to deal with it. You have to roll with it and just move on from it and get stronger from it and learn from it. But this whole entire thing of like, and I understand what your friend was saying. Like, it is difficult to show people grace.
Yeah.
God, it's difficult sometimes to show people grace. Like that is
Yeah, it is.
a
But
struggle. However,
God would. That's what's the, God would. That's
that's
where it's
what
hard.
we're
Yeah.
to do. That's what we're called to do as believers,
Right.
as faithful Christian women. That is what we are called to do. We are called to show grace. However, that also means that if, like you just said, if somebody comes at us,
When
we
we
are
haven't
to
done
show them
anything.
grace.
Yeah, because we're being the happier
When
end.
we
Like I
haven't
said,
done- because that oh God, that's happened. That I had to step back, and I've had to step back and pray a couple times
Yeah.
with some people, just
And-
for the simple fact that we're human. We're gonna have those knee-jerk reactions.
right.
I mean, we're human beings, just like everyone else is a human being. It's possible to feel a particular way about things. However, like you said, anger is hurt.
Yeah.
I saw a quote not too long ago. It says, anger is pain that has nowhere else to go.
And the most
was
you
like-
can do is just pray for them and hope that they can figure it out. You know what I mean? Like that's really all you can do is pray for them and hope that
Yeah.
they can get it figured out and they can come to a place of peace. And like, like I said, like there's so many adoptees who've unfollowed me because they're labeled technically like those angry adoptees. And that's okay. They're not supposed to be in my space if they're going to be angry. Like I'm okay
Right.
with that. I'm
Exactly.
100% okay with that.
Exactly. 1 second, real quick. Guys, I'm so sorry if you keep inviting me to go live with you. I'm recording a podcast with Milena, so I'm not going to go live with you. It's not because I don't want to. Like, I'm kind of doing something if you hear the other.
It's so funny.
voice.
Delancey on
But
her TikTok. She's got
I just like, I mean, it's like I feel bad because I've gotten 2 invites to like go live with somebody and like do things together. And like I would love to do that. We're
Sorry.
kind of doing something. Sorry, podcast listener.
No, right. No, I forget that too. Yeah. No, but
Life is not, this, but again, par for the course. Par for the course.
true. It's true. What we were like mainly talking about is just finding out that like we had other siblings. I mean, like our stories are so different. Delancey's are younger. I think if I would have found out that mine were all younger and I didn't have older, I don't think I would have played the why me game so much. Like really. But to find out that there's 3 older and 3 younger and I'm smack dab in the middle, then it's kind of like, what? Like why? Because then I go
It's
to
kind
the
of like, why did God?
yeah. Like you could afford to
Pluck you
raise
out and
them,
say-
but you couldn't afford to raise me. And granted, me and the
Yeah.
other one were like under 2 years apart,
Yeah.
like 24 or 18 months apart. Like she like had immediately had a baby like right after. So me. Yeah. That's
I'm
the other
sorry.
thing is like
I just really feel I'm just not a normal female because like just the thought,
of being pregnant.
absolutely not.
That's okay.
Just the
Everybody
thought.
wants to be. There's
I
no judgment
I
there.
think for the right man, around to that, but I doubt that. I doubt it. You're welcome, podcast listeners,
No, I
for
love it.
all
but,
the
like
that.
I don't know.
I
What if
don't know. I don't know. I'm glad you waited until, and this is just because of how much, like how I know you and how close we've gotten and how similar we are. I really am glad you waited until you did when you to find out, because I do think that would have been a lot for you to process, to find
Agreed.
out 3 older, 3 younger, smack in the middle, like why,
Yeah.
like why it's one of those things of what's different about me. Why am I different?
Yeah.
Why am I different? And
Yeah.
it's kind of like, I think that that's may possibly, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that may be something that you might be asking for a while until you have the opportunity to meet face to face and sit down and talk
Yeah.
with her, like directly. You know what I mean? Like, because
100%.
that hits different. That hits different than talking over the phone.
Oh, agreed. 100%. And you guys, yeah, like, yes, 100%. So it'll be very interesting when that time comes to see how everything
Yeah.
unfolds, which it does give me
That's
like,
gonna-
anxiety. Don't get me wrong. I do to this day still get a little bit of FOMO when they all get together for birthdays and stuff, because it just would be fun. I'm the type of person that I like getting together with people though. So like when I see them get together for birthdays or things like that, and then they're all sending pictures and like a big family text we have. I mean, sometimes I just can't look at things because of my mental state. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm glad you celebrated that person. I told them happy birthday, but I can't do this. Like sometimes it is very, very hard because
Right.
I'm not just like a easy plane ride away. Like going to Colombia, you have to go through customs,
No,
you
you
have
got
to get a passport, you have to, it's not like, hey, I could hop on a plane and go to New York and watch for a really killer deal and go visit them.
right, right,
It's a little bit
different.
heavier than that. So,
Your
but
yours takes a lot of planning.
yeah, exactly.
A lot
Exactly.
of-
But anything else on like having siblings? I think we both kind of like that's like said, our stories are 100% different, but at the same time, I feel like me and Delancey are very much on the same page to where we could sit in harbor and be like, ugh, and because we both admitted that she told her part about like if it happened that way, I told my part about happened that way, but we have very much just come to be like, we are very grateful because there's a reason we're at where we are. We are where we at. Well,
What just happened? Did you break?
we are where we at. No, I can't even say it.
That we're wait, are you trying to say we're very thankful for where we are in
Yes,
comparison to
thank
where
you. Thank you. I couldn't
Oh, I
even get
got
it out. That's what I meant. But yes, we're grateful where we're at. Yes, there we go. I said it right. Because we are. We could sit and we could be angry and we could be mad and all those things, but we're not. So yeah.
Yeah, there's just no reason to be. There's no reason to be angry. There's no reason to be upset. There's no reason. I mean, there's so many, there's, that's with anything. There's so many reasons to be happy
Yeah.
and to choose joy. And if you
Right.
can't choose joy, process it, work through it, move on from it. But like, don't live there. You
I just
can't
don't
live there.
I don't understand the social media posting of it. And it's not just with adoption, it's with anything. Somebody gets their freaking panties in a wad and they're like, oh, I'm going to go on Facebook and blast this shit and start even more of a fight. I'm like, why? Why? Pick up a phone, call a friend, go to therapy, like go punch a pillow or something, but don't go
Well,
on social media so then you can just sit there and fight with people.
the thing that kills me though is that 3/4 of those 7/8 of those people that do that and that post all this negative stuff and all this mean stuff and all this like awful, I hate the world, I don't like you, whatever, what have you, all of this stuff, they would never say it directly to anybody,
It's true.
ever. They would never come out and verbally say it because they already said it on their social media platform. Now, I don't have that problem. I've gotten better about not
You guys gotta watch the YouTube.
confronting
Delancey's faces. I wish I could go through and just make a
immediately.
big old mashup of her faces because she kills me. She's oh,
I'm very expressive,
I love
but
it.
it's kind of like these of I love it when people I've always, especially like people that I know post like not so nice things, no matter what it's about.
Right.
Because I feel like I miss the days when Facebook was like literally like cat videos and like sorority girls posting pictures.
It's true.
Like
Yeah.
back
The
in
duck, the duck
early
lips.
2000s, like it was the
Now it's
little
now,
toes that they're all each other. Like, why can't we go back to those days? Now we have to talk about just now all we do is complain without solutions.
it's true.
I just if you want to air your grievances, I'm here for it.
Right.
As long as you can provide a solution that you
Agreed.
think will be effective or will work. And that's with anything. That's with, but like the way they come at us and other people about being adopted, it's kind of like, okay, cool. You're angry, you're upset, you're mad. I get it. How are you working through it?
Yeah.
What are you doing
Yeah.
to process? What are you doing to develop yourself as a person so that you become a stronger individual mentally, spiritually, physically? What are you doing? How help other people who feel the way that you do to process and move forward?
Yeah.
Oh, we're not doing that. We're just going to complain. Okay, cool. Swiping on. Like,
Right. Yeah.
that was a whole tangent.
No, No, but it does go with it. 100% it goes with it. So you always bring it back to what we're talking about. So stop. You're so good at that. Like really. You go off and then whew, it's always back. But
I do. It's like squirrel, come back.
I think our
They're
main
like-
thing that we talked about is mainly just like being adoptees that have siblings with the bio parents. But
Mhm.
everything we talked about is just it honestly can be lumped into the same because there's so many things that go into adoption. It's just like life. Like there's so many things that can go into it and you can pile and you can talk about like it just is. You just
there's so many moving parts. It's not as simple as people want to think it is. It's
Right.
really just not, because it's not even just about our bio siblings.
right.
It's also about our siblings we grew up with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yes.
I mean,
yeah.
I almost want to call my sisters and ask them like, okay, like real, what did you think when you found out that I had, 2 younger sisters and a younger brother?
Yeah.
Like, what were your thoughts? Like, did y'all worry? Like, I was like, did y'all worry? Like, did you feel like I thought mom and dad were gonna feel like I was trying to replace you? Like,
Right.
scoot over, family.
Right.
Have like
Yeah.
these other people that I'm bringing in. Like, I'm curious. No, I don't think I'm gonna call them after this. And ask
Do
them
it. No,
what they
my
thought about
oldest sister was so supportive. She was just like, it's more family. It's just more family. I'm so excited. That's what she thought. The other ones, I mean, my brother was there when I met him, but my other ones just haven't really been super involved, which is totally fine. It's just their personalities, which is they just don't care one way or the
Right.
other, which is fine. So
Well, and it's, I was gonna say for mine, I think the benefit was they've already been through it once
right.
with my third sister. And then like my oldest sister went with me to meet my bio mom and my younger siblings. And then my second sister was just like, I want to say my second sister, she was just more, she was supportive, but she was also protective of me,
Yeah.
wanting to make sure I was going to be okay.
Right.
Because,
Yeah.
she knows how I am. I could be,
Right.
I'm a little emotional sometimes.
Yeah.
So, I think it's really great that you and I both had siblings that we grew up with that were supportive
Right.
and were there for us and
Right.
had our backs to say, I guess,
Oh, yeah.
as the kids would say,
Mm-hmm.
they had our backs to make sure we were good. So, I mean, you can't start laughing, because when you start laughing, then I start giggling, and then I start making funky faces because I'm giggling. And
No.
I can't help it.
I love it. No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's what makes you you. Anyway, I
Mhm.
keep like side-eyeing my Instagram. I've had people pop in and out.
I know, like mine
I
too.
don't
And I
think
feel
anybody's
so bad.
on. I had my one friend say hi and another friend say hi, but that's about it. Anyway, anything else that we want to touch on this?
I don't know that I have anything else that I want to touch on it, but I will say, huge shout out to anyone that like joined us on live. That
Agreed.
was,
Agreed. Thank
I
you.
mean, I had people jumping in and out, so I don't know how much they
Thank
actually
you for
watched.
joining.
Got it. So thank y'all for joining us. Thank you, Melena's Instagram, for joining us. Sorry to my Facebook for not being able to figure that out and just being like,
Meh.
oh well.
It's all good. We can
But,
always
I
do it
mean,
again. You can
it's-
always do it again one week. That'd be fun.
I think it definitely creates a different environment than what we
Oh.
normally have.
100%. Because
With
like
our
you can feel people are watching you, even though I wasn't paying like huge attention to it. There's still people over there that are like watching. Does that make sense? And I'm so much darker
I
in
would
my
like-
Instagram than I am over here. I think because the lighting.
yeah, I'm darker on my TikTok than I am. Well, I mean, not that much darker. I don't know. I'm through this weird thing. I feel like I love
it.
We should probably. Oh, did you want to go ahead and share what we're going to try to be doing in the future?
Oh yeah, I talked about
We're
this
gonna
on my
try together.
stories, but we'll share it here, and we can actually roll out more details too
Yes,
on our
please.
podcast too. But we want to put together some type of Zoom call, and we've already got people who we want to invite. I just need to still reach out and invite them.
Mhm.
But it's gonna be so good. We're gonna do it like a Zoom type of call. So if y'all want to come on, you better let us know and we can get you a link, and it's super easy, but we've got to get it all set up first. So just be patient with us, but we will have some really amazing people come on and speak with us because, and the cool thing is like they're all different parts of the triad, like, and just the adoption community in general, like it's amazing. So it'll be super cool. You'll have to stay tuned for that. So yeah.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome.
Alrighty. Anything else? And I will shut this out. Stop it. Okay. All right. Well, thanks guys for being here.